Hello, my name is Sabine Lepere. I'm a socially engaged architect and urban planner, and I'm going to present to you today a short version of the thesis that I presented for the Master of International Action, Humanitarian Action and Conflict from Uppsala University in 2020. So the idea started by thinking, okay, after a war we need to rebuild, and architects should be rebuilding. But actually, when I did an empirical job search on humanitarian recruitment platforms, I realized that there is no architects' jobs, or when they are only like engineers or very technical jobs. So my research questions are: what specific skills can professional architects bring to the humanitarian field in order to contribute to the success of post-conflict reconstruction efforts? And the second research question was: what positive impacts can architecture and urban planning have on peace-building processes? So we see here basically three porous domains of research. There is the social and humanitarian architecture, so I reviewed literature in that field. There is the humanitarian shelter and displacement, so I reviewed literature in that field. And then I wanted to link those to peace building and conflict resolution field. And that's when I found this author called Jean-Paul Lederac. He's very influential in the field of peace building, and he talks about conflict transformation. Here is his pyramid, where he identified three different range of leadership, from grassroots to top leadership. And he says that you can work towards sustainable peace via the improvement of relationship between those different levels and within each level. And that's where I make the hypothesis that both architects and humanitarian workers operating in this middle range leadership can help improve the population within the grassroots and also link with top leadership in order to transform a conflict towards sustainable peace. So I took three different case studies. They are very different, three different parts of the world, three different programs and timelines. They all take place in post-conflict settings. So we have Rwanda, Colombia, and Iraq. To start with the Butero hospital in Rwanda, I can quickly say that it was the Butero district hospital that provides the Burera region with modern medical care since 2011. And of course, the conflict in Rwanda was the big genocide that happened in 1994. The design and implementation process was made by the non-profit organization Mass Design Group. It uses local materials, it provided jobs to local craftsmen, but also the pride of participating in such a project for the common good. It also provides dignity to both the staff and the patients. My second case study is the city of Medellin in Colombia. It's the second largest city with 4 million inhabitants. And for many decades, there had been a war between the government and different non-state actors. The FARC were one of them. And internal displacement resulted in the creation of huge comunas. It's like slums on the hillsides all around the city, where there are a lot of extreme levels of violence and drug dealing and crimes. And from 2004, the municipalities launched a social urbanism strategy to city planning that used architecture as a tool to address the underlying causes of urban violence. It's now acclaimed as a success story because it offers the inhabitants of those slums, the comunas, a way to tackle inequality and mitigate violence by creating new possibilities in the city. You can, of course, read more about those different case studies in the full version of my thesis. For my third and last case study, I interviewed Christiania Adalgesdotter, who was on a mission with the ICRC, the International Committee of the Red Cross, in Iraq in 2019. In 2019, there was a huge amount of returnees, so displaced people coming back to Iraq, and most of them settled down in their usual place of habitat, so in their own villages. And this Iraq returnee program was actually a pilot project that provided an alternative to traditional reconstruction approaches by supporting target communities in the self-reconstruction of their own houses. So it was a very holistic and multidisciplinary approach that supported entrepreneurship, so the local market, and gave a specific attention to vulnerable groups. So this was very quick, but now my findings. So I had the literature review, 3 different domains and 3 different case studies. And that led me to find that post-conflict reconstruction processes can activate the local economy, they can create cohesion, and they're able to link immediate relief with longer-term development. So that's this humanitarian development peace nexus. It can contribute to community building and self-sustaining peace. Now the architect skills, which skills do they have? They understand the local context and they understand the culture. They know how to involve the local communities in participatory processes. They know how to collaborate and operate in multidisciplinary teams. They have an overview or an understanding of the psychological aspects of the housing process. And of course, they know how to combine practical solution with aesthetical and symbolic value. And as a conclusion, the appropriate use of those skills have the potential to contribute to the relevancy and the sustainability of post-conflict reconstruction projects. It can instill dignity and give opportunities for positive change, and it can bring people together to create social bonds and support holistic approaches to peace building. In the need for further research, I could say that I observed that more attention should be given by the humanitarian community to the reconstruction of the built environment in general, and more particularly, there is a need for transdisciplinary research on the link between the social role of architects in crisis settings and the field of peace building and post-war reconstruction. This is a complex but passionating topic that I try to outline in my thesis. Thank you.